guys, it's time for another episode of Below the Iceberg, the one and only podcast where we talk to real life 2 Comma Club winners. Now, whether you're a small business owner, an entrepreneur, a wannabe entrepreneur, or you've been in business for a while, you're sure to pick up tidbits of actionable advice from these million-dollar entrepreneurs. Now, if you don't know what a 2 Comma Club winner is, it's where they have built one funnel inside the ClickFunnels software and they've sold $1 million through just that one funnel, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, in this episode, I am over the moon to be talking with a very special lady who's catapulted herself into a multi-million-dollar lifestyle, all from her home while homeschooling 5 children. She now has her own chef and a personal trainer, and she's even a regular visitor to Grant Cardone's house. This week's guest is Tiffani Higgins, and we chatted to find out how it all started, going from a broke stay-at-home mum to multi-millionairess. Let's dive in. Welcome, Tiffani, to Below the Iceberg.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on to having a chat with me today.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm excited.
Let me just change the view. There we go. Awesome. So I want to congratulate you on getting a 2 Comma Club award.
Thank you very much.
That is absolutely awesome. So what I like to do with my guests is I do a little bit of diving on their social profiles and check out their stats. And then this shows our listeners what you can do with big followings and small followings, etc. So what I looked at for you, so I see you've got on your Facebook page, you've got about 24,000 followers.
Yep, I think so.
Yeah. You've got a Facebook group with about 30,000 followers, subscribers. Yeah.
Yep.
Instagram is a lot lower. So you've only got 2,200 on Instagram.
Yeah, we just started using Instagram. I'm not very familiar with that platform.
All right,
yet.
okay. And then I looked on YouTube and you've got 484 followers on YouTube.
Yep. We don't even do much on YouTube either.
No, so is Facebook your main platform?
Yes, so far it has been.
Awesome. So do you want to tell our listeners exactly what it is that you do?
Yeah, absolutely. So about 7 years ago, I started a bookkeeping business from home so that I could be home with my kids, but still be able to pay the bills. And it ended up being a really incredible experience for our family. I was even able to retire my husband in a very short amount of time. And he started helping with the kids and helping with the business. And about 3 years ago, I decided to start teaching other women how to do this as well so that they could change their families' lives. And so we created what's called the Stay-at-Home Bookkeeper Academy. And we've had thousands of women go through our program now and start their own bookkeeping business and completely transform their life and grow their own bookkeeping business. And most of them didn't have any prior experience or education or background in accounting or bookkeeping before they joined our program and launched their company.
Awesome. So is it a coaching program or is it like a course?
Yeah, we have a course and a coaching program. Our course is the foundational roadmap, and then our coaching program fills in all the gaps and supports them all the way to making 6 figures working part-time from home.
All right. Sounds awesome. So when did you actually hit the 2 Comma Club, the $1 million?
Let's see. I think we did that in the 2nd year of business. We really kind of had it figured out, like what students need, what we want to be able to offer them. And we had everything kind of dialed in. It was like our 2nd year in business. When we hit the $1 million in a calendar year.
Right. Okay. So was it a goal to get the 2 Comma Club or did it just happen?
Yeah, it was kind of a goal to get there. I didn't know about it at first. And I actually learned about getting the 2 Comma Club award at the same time as getting a Dream Car award. So I'm an affiliate with ClickFunnels as well, and was like this close to getting the Dream Car award before Funnel Hacking Live in last year in 2021. And so they reached out and said, hey, you're on track for this. And by the way, don't forget to apply for your 2 Comma Club award. And I was like, oh, I didn't even know anything about that. So I was like, okay, well, the pressure's on. I got to get, a handful more affiliates to join ClickFunnels. And then I was able to like apply for and get both of those awards on stage.
Awesome. So who were your affiliates? Were they people signing up on your course?
Yes, they are actually my students. So ClickFunnels really completely transformed my coaching company. And we were able to just bring in, thousands and thousands of moms that needed our help through our funnel. And so I was like, there's got to be a really cool way that my students can use this for their own clients. And so what we started to do is we offered a program where we would design the students' bookkeeping websites using ClickFunnels. And so when they become part of our academy, they get that service, and we design it for them for free when they use ClickFunnels for their website.
Right, I see. So when you realized that you'd hit the 2 Comma Club after they told you, did you have a celebration or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I brought several people with me to Funnel Hacking Live so we could kind of celebrate while we were there. It was like a big party of all of us nerdy accountants hanging out at the 2 Comma Club at the FHL. Yep.
So let's do a little bit of a rewind. Oh, before that, what was the funnel that you were using that you won the award with?
Yeah, I have an ebook funnel where people can buy my ebook for $5.90. And then we have 2 order bumps. You can upgrade to add the audio book, and then a sales and marketing training specific for bookkeepers. You can add that for $37. And then they can buy our course for $297. And if they decide not to buy that as an upsell, then we do have a downsell where they can get it for 3 payments of $97.
All right. Okay. So did you do the 2 Comma Club with just that, or was there another back-end offer?
Yeah, we have another back-end offer for our coaching program. Yep.
All right. Okay. And how much is that?
It started off at $5,000. It's now at $12,000. And when they invest $12,000, they go from 0 to 6 figures in under 12 months.
All right. So do you guarantee that to them then?
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% success rate.
Wow.
The only people that don't have success are the ones that just don't do the work. They don't take action.
So that sounds awesome. So so even mums who don't have any accounting background at all can do this?
Yep, absolutely. We have a ton of nurses that have been super successful. For example, Kaylee, she used to be a pharmacy technician. She was working nights and weekends in an ER. She was making about $35,000 a year. And she launched her bookkeeping business about 2 years ago. And I just talked to her a couple months ago, and she is making about $14,000 a month right now. And she was making $35,000 a year. And so she was a pharmacy technician. She didn't have any previous, bookkeeping knowledge. And then I have another student, Kendall. Her background is in dolphin training. She used to live in the Florida Keys, and she was a dolphin trainer. And
that sounds fun.
I know it does sound fun, but definitely doesn't pay the bills to do something like that, And so she's anywhere between $15,000 to $25,000 per month in her bookkeeping business. And she just hired her 3rd employee. So, and she didn't know anything about bookkeeping before.
Wow. That's really awesome. Okay. So let's do a little rewind. I want to take you back to your childhood. What did your childhood look like?
My childhood was interesting. I'm the oldest of 5. So I spent a lot of my childhood taking care of my siblings. Moving a lot. I think I went to 17 different schools.
Wow.
Over the course of my childhood. So.
Oh my goodness. Why?
I don't know. I think my grandpa had we always joke he had gypsy blood because he used to want to move a lot, and it got passed down to my mom. And so she moved us a lot. I mean, we didn't move far. It was just far enough to be in different school districts. So we would be switching all the time. But the funny thing is I've done that to my family. We've moved a lot in the last 7 years.
So did that affect your schooling at all?
Not too much. I was like a really shy kid. So I think it kind of affected my social skills a little bit, being constantly put into a new place where you didn't know anyone. It was probably a good thing though, a good experience for me to be able to like have to be forced to like, talk to new people that I didn't know and make new friends. Helped me develop some of those skills that introverts don't like to utilize.
Yeah. So what did you want to be when you grew up, when you were a child?
Yeah, I either wanted to be, when I was a child, I wanted to have my own daycare, or I wanted to be a math teacher.
Okay. So maths, so that started young then?
Yeah, I actually always liked math, and I always liked accounting. When I was 16, I took my first accounting class and I was like, oh, this is interesting. This is something that I never really thought about. So I knew for me personally that I wanted to be an accountant since I was 16. And that was never like a question for me. I went right into college, went right into accounting and all that kind of stuff. So it always intrigued me.
Okay, so you went to college for accounting. So when you left, what did you do? What happened then?
Yeah, when I left college, I got my first job as a Missouri sales tax auditor. And I was also 6 months pregnant with my first child. And as soon as I had my baby, I realized this corporate gig is not going to work for my parenting lifestyle. So I struggled. Like I ended up quitting that job and taking like part-time jobs here and there just so I could be home with my son. That's kind of where my struggle started, like right from there. Like I always wanted to be a mom and I always wanted to be an accountant. And I didn't realize that doing both of those things they were going to like constantly butt heads, like having a corporate job and then being home with your kids. It's like, it doesn't balance. And so when my first two kids were little, I struggled with that all the time. And I decided to make a sacrifice and put my accounting desires on hold because my desire to be a good mom was much stronger. So that meant I was there, I was home, I was present, I was raising them, but we were flat broke. At one point we were making about $30,000 with a family of 4. And I mean, it was a real struggle. And it wasn't until they got back into school that I started working again. Still felt that struggle. It was still hard, even though they were in school, getting them to school in the morning, getting them off the bus in the afternoon when I'm still supposed to be working till like 5 or 6. And so I struggled so much with that. But then I got remarried and I had my third child and all of that stuff came back again. And so when my baby was like 6 months old, I thought, I am not going through this again. I'm not going to struggle. So I just quit. I quit my job again and stayed home. But this time I was like, I'm going to do accounting and bookkeeping from home. And it was really planning to just be a side gig. I was going to just pick up a couple of clients and go back to being a stay-at-home mom. But man, it's so easy to find bookkeeping clients that my business just exploded. And within about 7 months, I was able to retire my husband even.
All right. Okay. So when was that? When did you start that?
Yeah, in 2015, right after tax season in May.
All right. Okay. So how did you get your first, when you thought, right, I'm going to do this, how did you get your first client?
Yeah. So I didn't really know how to do marketing. I'd never had my own business. I didn't know how to do marketing. I didn't know anything about sales or quoting or anything. And so I thought, well, I guess I just got to go meet people because that's really what marketing is all about, right? It's just like meeting people and finding people that might want your services. So I loaded up my 6-month-old in the car and I went to this bank, and that every Friday they had a networking event. So I took her with me to this event. And of course, like we were super memorable because nobody else brings their kids to networking events, right? So everyone's like, oh, she's the one with the kids at, the little baby that's her PR agent. So it's really fun. So like I really started growing my business by just like meeting a lot of people. I'm sure you can hear my kids screaming in the background here, but yeah, I just started meeting people in my area and realized that every single business needs a bookkeeper. So it was like, real easy to connect with people, and they could connect with me on a personal level because they saw me as a mom and a person, as well as someone that's looking to find clients for her business. So it was like really easy to connect with people, and they trusted me to handle their finances.
So were they small local businesses then?
Yeah, most of them were at first. But then I started getting a lot of referrals from my clients, their friends that lived across the country. I had clients from all the way from San Diego to New York.
All right. Okay. So how long did you do that then before you decided to branch out? What happened next?
Yeah, so I did that for about 4 years. And during that time, I ended up having twins as well. So our family grew from 3 to 5.
Okay.
And it was such an incredible experience to have my bookkeeping business during that time because my husband was home. I had flexibility. Like, I'm only 5'1". So when I got pregnant with twins, I got really huge. Like, my stomach was sticking out like 5 feet. And so I had to take lots of naps. I had to go to lots of doctor's appointments and stuff like that. So it was such a huge blessing to have the flexibility of my bookkeeping business during that time. And, you know, and it was still growing. And then I hired someone to help me with my business. And I think it was like January of 2019. So about 4 years almost into my business, I had her come to work with me, and she was working part-time, and she had a 5-month-old at home. And one day she came into work and she said, just so you know, I need more money, but I can't work for you more hours because I'm missing my baby and I don't want to leave him at home anymore. And so she said, so I'm going to start my own bookkeeping business too. And so I was thinking to myself, well, you know, there's like 32 million businesses out there. There's clients for everybody, right? So I told her, I thought to myself, well, she's also like really new, but she's in the best position ever because she can just come and ask me for help. So I could help her. I've already been through all these starting stages of starting your business, and I've seen it all. I like know everything that could possibly happen to her, all the roadblocks that she could possibly run into. And so I thought she's in such a great position to be able to come in to my house and ask me for help. And so I thought, like, if I can help her do this, I'm surely can help other women do this too. So that's kind of what spurred the idea of like getting it started. And so I just started putting feelers out there and asking other moms, like in the homeschooling groups that I was in, hey, would you guys like be interested in learning how to start a bookkeeping business if you wanted to work from home? And my gosh, so many people were interested in that. So many. And so we launched the program in May of 2019, and it's been crazy ever since then.
All right. Okay. So when you launched it, what did you have? Did you have ClickFunnels then? When did you find ClickFunnels?
Yeah. So at first I launched it. I did like a pre-sale launch, and I got about 25 people to commit. I said, if I can get at least 25 of you guys to join in, I will stop everything I'm doing and I will create this program for you. So I actually made like $25,000 before I even created like a single video. So it was really cool.
So was that inside somebody else's Facebook group then?
No, it was just a free one that I created. So like when I was like going around asking people in these other groups, I was like, would you guys be interested in learning how to do this? And they're like, yes, yes, yes. And so I'm like, okay, well, everyone join my group so that I can, you know, have you guys all in one place so I can teach you. That's what we did. And so those 25 people joined, and then it was only about 4 months into it, maybe 5 months. And my first student quit her corporate job to do this full time. And when she did that, everyone was like, oh my gosh, this is a real thing. This is doable. And so like everyone started like committing and then listening to what I was saying and like going after it because they started to see people get results. So it was really cool.
So were you still doing your bookkeeping as well, or did you stop that?
I actually ended up selling my bookkeeping business so I could focus on this.
Oh, right. Okay. Did you sell it to one of your students?
No, I didn't. Actually, I sold it to another CPA that had a business in Ohio. It just was like kind of just this weird thing that worked out. Like I always tell my students though, like looking back, I wish that I would have kept it because I could have like hired more people to work it and I could have continued to grow it. But you know, things you learn when you move forward.
So you sold everybody. So were you using ClickFunnels when you pre-sold everybody?
Oh yeah. So I didn't use ClickFunnels when I pre-sold people. I actually had nothing set up. So at that point in time, I was like, PayPal me, Venmo me, whatever, like just give me money and then I'll get started. But then I actually ran across this Facebook ad agency when I was like just starting out. I think it was like it was shortly after that, probably like July. And I got started with Facebook ads, and he's the one that recommended that I use ClickFunnels, and he set up my entire funnel for me.
All right,
And
okay.
that's what really like expedited everything, having him behind the Facebook ads and then utilizing our ClickFunnels.
So were you running ads to get leads in? What were they going to this book funnel then? Is that how that started, or were they going somewhere else?
Yeah, they were going straight to the book funnel. So the whole like premise of it was like his motto is get paid to get paid. So they were purchasing the ebook. So I knew that all of my leads coming in had already given me money, which means they were already like really interested and really warm leads. So then I just had to nurture them into, enrolling in our course or our coaching program from there, because they were already so invested in what we were doing that they bought our book.
So how did you grow the Facebook groups? How many did we have? 30,000 people in your Facebook group. So how did you grow that?
Yeah. So the funnel works so well that what I decided to do is like all of the revenue that I get from our funnel, from our book funnel, I turn around and I use that and I put it right back into Facebook ads. So we were able to scale our Facebook ads that way. And then the business operates on the back end just from our coaching program. So over time, we've just been able to consistently grow our ad spend, which brings in, like anywhere from like 25 to 100 people per day will come into our Facebook group because they see our ads or they buy our ebook and they get our emails. And so that's kind of how we've grown our Facebook group so fast over the last couple of years.
All right. Okay. So did you have a coach at all or a mentor at this time, or were you just doing it you and this Facebook ad agency?
Yeah, that's all I had at first. I have had a lot of coaches over the last 3 years though, because it's really helpful to like know how to get to each next level. And like somebody that's been through it before can look down and say, oh, well, the only thing you need to do differently is this, or tweak this, or say this different. So I've had a series of coaches ever since then.
Okay. So how many staff do you have now in your business?
Let's see. We have about, I'd say like 7 to 10 core team members. And then we have probably about 15 to 20 part-time coaches. All of our coaches are successful students that have grown on to have awesome businesses, and then they want to come back and coach and help other moms continue success.
Oh, that's really awesome. So they've all been through it, so they know what it's like.
Yes, absolutely. They have very, great advice, unique advice to give to each of the new students because they've very recently been in their shoes.
So have you only ever had the one book funnel then?
Yep.
So what do you think's been your biggest hurdle that you've overcome so far on your journey?
Oh, let's see. Biggest hurdle. There's been so many. I think probably one of the biggest challenges that we've faced as a company that we weren't prepared for at the time is realizing that we are like holistic coaches. We have to help these women break to the next version of themselves. And oftentimes that has nothing to do with teaching them bookkeeping. So like we had to get really good at like showing them, yeah, it's okay to be scared. Yeah, imposter syndrome is totally normal. Yeah, you're not going to know how to get clients, but you're going to do this anyway. And we're going to prove to you that it works later. You just have to have faith. So like, working on those issues and helping women see like their true self has been really the biggest primary focus that we've had to take on in order to get them to the point where they are open enough to following our steps and putting themselves out there and marketing their business and learning the bookkeeping skills.
Okay. Yeah. So what about Has there ever been a time where you thought you want to give it up?
Yeah, actually there has been, because sometimes you reach a point in your business where you're like, you're kind of stuck. You're doing all the things, but you don't know how to get to the next level. And so it feels frustrating. Like you're kind of like hitting your head up against the wall, you know? So there's been a couple of times, and they actually call those break points in your business when you hit certain levels. And for us, when we hit 300 or 3 million in annual revenue, that has been the break point that we haven't been able to get past for like a year and a half. We've been stuck at like 300K months. And no matter what we try, no matter what we do, no matter how much effort we put in, we hadn't been able to get past that. So whenever, for me, like I'm a real goal-oriented person. So if I'm like striving to improve and I just can't improve, and my metric is revenue, then it's really frustrating for me to continue to go if I can't figure out how to improve, you know? So there were some times there where I was like, well, maybe I just don't know how to run a multi-million-dollar company. Maybe I should just be happy with the way it is. Maybe I should just give up. You know, all those things always go through your head. But at the end of the day, we always just strive to keep moving forward and find people that can help us get to the next level and help us learn.
So I've been seeing you with Grant Cardone. So
yes.
What's that all about? I need to find out how's that happening? How did that happen?
Yeah. So yeah, the whole 10X movement and being everywhere with the Cardones has been incredible. I first kind of fell into their world because my students were getting really successful. And when we first started this out, we kind of marketed it as like a side gig, like stay at home with your kids and make a little money on the side. But a lot of the students started to get that itch and that drive that I have to like, let's see how far we can take this. Like, how big can we grow it? And so then they were starting to need help building a team, and they were struggling with overwhelm and like, how do I balance this like $200,000 business with like 4 kids at home that I'm homeschooling? And I was struggling with figuring out how to help them with that, because I was struggling with those things too. And so I was like, I really need to find a female mentor, like somebody that has kids, but somebody that's making way more money than us so that she can show us the way. And the only person I could find was Elena Cardone.
All right.
And yeah, so I started looking into her and I was like, man, they are great parents. And they're like teaching their kids the things that they teach other people. And I was just like, I was so inspired by how Grant and Elena live their life and how they raise their kids. And so I went to Elena's events, and then that kind of like sucked me down into the 10X hole that you can fall into. And so from there, I just started learning, and I was like, oh my gosh, okay. So their next program was with their business partner, Brandon Dawson, and they have this program called the 10X 360, and they take a whole 360 view of your business. And he's the one that taught me that the $3 million mark is a break point in your business, and that there's certain things that you have to do to get past that. And so like, it was just amazing knowledge that out of all of the money I've spent on coaches in the past, I hadn't been taught any of this yet. Sure. And so it's just been incredible. The amount of knowledge they have on building businesses and living a 10X lifestyle, like an amazing lifestyle, is so incredible. Everything is amazing. And I can't wait to be teaching it. I actually signed up to be a Grant Cardone licensee. So now I can teach all of his content to my students as well. And it's incredible. It's more than just sales and marketing. It's literally how to unlock the best lifestyle for you too.
Sounds incredible. But I saw you were on one of his workshops or something?
Yeah. So he had an interactive online boot camp, but they invited like 15 people. You had to pay extra for it, but they invited you to be backstage. And so for 3 days during his virtual event, I got to sit front row, like 10 feet away from him while he's like on camera. I'm like 10 feet away. And I got to like experience all that. And then the last day he pulled me up on stage to like share my story in front of like 5,000 people at his virtual event. So, and he actually called me a gangster.
Did you know he was going to bring you on stage?
No,
Oh,
no.
was that quite a scary moment?
It was a little nerve-wracking because I don't really like, if I'm not prepared, I stutter. Like I stutter over my words and stuff. And so I was like really nervous about getting up there, but I don't know, something about like helping people. I know what I have to say is going to help someone. And so it just kind of comes out better. And so when I got up there, even though I was like, I knew I was going to like stutter over my words, I got on a roll. And then I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to help, like some of these people watching, this is going to inspire them to like start their business and like do something. So it just came out. It was like so awesome.
Amazing. And what's their house like? Because you went to their house, didn't you?
Yes, I did go to their house. It's like the dream. It depends on if you're a beach person. Are you a beach person?
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah, me too. So like some people are beach, some are mountains. I'm total beach, and his house is like the dream house. He's got this amazing back patio and the whole entire back wall opens up. So it's like his living room and his bar and everything is like part of the outside. And then they have this really awesome patio, and you take a couple steps down and they have an infinity pool. And then you go down a couple more steps and they've got their kids trampoline in the sand, and then the sand, and it leads out to the ocean. I mean, it's perfect.
Oh, wow. But that was such an incredible experience.
It really was. It was awesome.
Okay. So what do you think's been your biggest achievement that you've got so far?
Let's see. My biggest achievement. I mean, I feel like growing a multi-million-dollar company is a pretty fantastic achievement. And doing that at home with 5 kids is not easy. I did finally hit a milestone though, where I got to hire a personal chef. So
wow.
I think that's like probably my most exciting achievement, at least recently, because trying to feed 5 kids, 7 people in our house, healthy meals, and my kids are all homeschooled, so they're home all day. It's not like I just have to feed them at night. We have to feed them all day. And they're all snackers. So it's like feeding our family is like a full-time job. And so we actually got to hire a private chef that comes to our house every day. That has been the best milestone ever.
That sounds amazing. Is it a lady or a man? Or
it's a lady. Yeah.
And does she create the meal plans for you then?
She does. Yeah. We tell her like what our restrictions are, like do's and don'ts of what we want to eat, and then taste preferences for each person in the house. And then she creates the whole meal. And actually, when we sit down, it's a surprise. It's like going to a 5-star restaurant every meal and not knowing what you're going to order. It's really fun.
That sounds amazing. I want one of them.
Yes, I highly recommend it.
Okay. Do you have a morning routine that you do daily?
Yeah, pretty much. We're working on actually like leveling up our morning routine, but right now, pretty much when we get up in the morning, we still bed share with 3 of our kids. Oh, wow. So yeah, so sometimes we set our alarm and get up before the kids, and sometimes we're just too tired and we wake up when they wake up. But typically we get up in the morning and we make our smoothie, our high protein shake smoothie, and then my husband and I take turns working out. I poached one of the personal trainers at my gym to come to our house and work out with us too. So that's been really incredible. When you're super busy and you're growing a really big business, investing in people to help you out in your personal life is just, I can't speak enough for how awesome that is, because, everyone can use their business as an excuse to not work out and to put their health on the back burner. And I got tired of doing that. So like having someone come here and be like, knock, 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 it's time to work out, like you can't say no to that. So like every morning we work out for like an hour a piece. So that's been a real game changer for us.
That's cool. Do you do any like affirmations or meditations or anything?
Yeah, I actually used to. I kind of got away from doing this, but I used to every day when I got dressed, I would read an affirmation. I love that too, because you do it so much that you actually eventually really start believing it. And then it's like, I'm kind of at to the point where I've read my affirmations so much that like, it's not even a problem for me anymore. So I probably need to create a new affirmation that I get up and read every morning and like, master that.
So what's your focus for the rest of this year?
My focus for the rest of this year, definitely in our 7-figure program, I'm really focusing really heavily on producing our first millionaire out of our academy. So we've got about 40 women that are aiming to hit 7 figures and building a team of people underneath them. So I'm hoping by the end of this year, the Bookkeeper Academy will have produced their first millionaire, which is really exciting.
That is really exciting. Have you got any awards or anything that you're going to give to them?
Yeah, we're definitely going to come up with a lot of awards. We actually have a inner circle retreat in Key West that we're going to be doing in October. So we're going to have a whole award ceremony for that.
Cool. That's super cool. People love awards.
Yeah, they do.
Okay. I got a final question for you.
Okay.
If you were going to be an animal for 24 hours, what would you be and why?
Oh, wow. My favorite animal has always been a gorilla because, they're amazing. They're like humans, they think. I feel like you can see their brains thinking. But when you said that, immediately came to mind, I think I would want to be like a wild stallion running on the beach. Sounds so freeing and beautiful.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you so much for chatting with me today.
Yeah, it was fun.
If anybody wants to find out more about what you do and that book, where they can get the book, where do they need to go?
Yes, the best place to go to be able to connect with me, join our Facebook group, grab my ebook would be to just go to our website. It's stayatHomeBookkeeper.com.
Okay, awesome. StayatHomeBookkeeper.com.
Yep.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you for listening. I really hope you enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please take a moment to leave us a 5-star review and subscribe to the podcast on your podcast software. It really helps us rank the podcast and get more listeners. And if you're over on YouTube, please subscribe and hit the bell. Every Friday, 8 a.m. GMT, we release a brand new episode. And until then, have a good one.